to use that mic, or are you just going to hold it in your lap?
Well, I didn't know he was ready.
Oh.
Hey. Hi, friends.
Hi, friends.
Hey, friend.
What?
That was awesome. I just caught you over there lollygagging.
Yeah, I was just enjoying
Just
y'all's
exactly.
conversation.
We're just
having
here
here today.
fellowshipping.
We'll just let everybody just listen and hopefully catch up on the way.
Well, hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of Double Take the Podcast. Chris and Josh here, but we have a special guest today.
That's
Very
right.
special.
A very special guest.
Very special guest, and I'm going to say this. I think she comes from gospel music royalty.
There ain't no doubt.
I would say that.
Is there such a thing as
Yeah.
gospel music royalty?
Yeah, honestly, there is.
Well, I'm down there on the second or third tier then, like the Duke and Duchesses that nobody's ever heard of. You know,
No.
if I knew any dukes or duchesses, I would throw some names in here, but it is not.
Do you see? You
I
can't
don't
think
I
of
don't even
one.
know of any.
But we're talking about none other than Miss Lauren Talley. It's
Good
great.
to be on here with you guys.
Well, it's great to be with you today.
Well, we
And,
just got you on because we knew you never listened to any of it, so hopefully you'll actually listen to this
I've
one.
been a really big fan of the podcast for a long time,
only
despite
been
the
going a
fact
year.
that this will be my first episode to hear.
Your support's just there. We
My
knew that.
support is constant, unchanging. It's consistent.
Good.
It has been consistent all the way up to this point.
Very consistent. Nothing equals nothing consistently.
But I've always loved Gold City.
Well,
I really
good.
have.
This is honestly, it's not entirely about Gold City. It's way more to do with the stories that most people never hear that are common knowledge with us. So many.
Can we actually tell those?
Yeah, that's what we
Wow.
do.
Sure.
Yeah. No, I mean the
And-
ones that we
Okay.
can tell, we
Right.
tell.
And
Yeah.
sometimes our guests aren't even talking about gospel music. I mean,
Right.
it's just their lives.
Surely
or,
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, this is special. I do want to make mention of this. It's special today because where we are recording this podcast is in the town where Gold City got its start.
Sure
That's
enough.
right.
Dahlonega.
And got its name.
That's right. Dahlonega was known as the Gold City, and back in 1980, January the 21st, I found out the other day,
He's a historian.
is the official formation of Gold City.
What a lot of people don't know is that there was a Gold City quartet before, right?
That's true. In the 40s,
Yeah.
Floyd
You
Beck's
didn't know that, did you?
family
I did not know that.
Yeah.
had a Gold City quartet, and he always had a dream of putting that group back together or having another group called Gold City.
Mhm.
And so he got with Eldridge Fox, and they were friends. And so Eldridge said, "Floyd, I think you need to put a group back together, or put a group together." And so he did, and basically got this quartet out of Mississippi, and
Christianaires.
the Christianaires,
Christianaires.
and just brought them over and renamed them Gold City,
Gold
except
City.
for the bass singer. The
Yeah, he
bass
didn't
singer
wanna
was
go.
the only one that didn't want to relocate.
Yeah.
And of course, that's how Tim.
I was about to say, they got a pretty decent replacement, though.
Yeah.
Buddy. Wow. Yeah. For real.
I'll say. But they all lived up here for the first, 5 years?
4 to 5 years.
Till
Yeah.
till
they all
84,
moved.
85, till Mr. Beck passed away. And we've heard stories from Danny about, they lived on
Grendel.
Floyd Beck's
Grendel Holler.
property. Some of them lived on
Some of 'em
Floyd's
did.
property. Some of them lived on a family called the Grendels property. And so, it was kind of a compound up here that they all kind of lived and rented
You could
houses.
see that
on.
in 1980 it being very compoundish
Oh, yeah.
type.
Well, Dahlonega wasn't anything like
No,
it
yeah.
it is today.
Yeah.
Even
It's a tourist
So,
town now.
Yeah.
So how about that? What have you learned now?
I've learned that I've learned why I haven't listened to the podcast very much.
Wow.
That was awesome. Makes sense now why you've been so consistent.
If you're looking for useless trivia, we have got you covered right here on Double
So
Take.
anyway, what's neat to me, because you said this about Southern Gospel Royalty, and the Talley name is that for me,
Yes.
because when I was a little kid, I was a huge Kirk Talley fan when I was a little kid. What year did he leave the cathedral? 83?
83.
So I would have been 5 years old. But when I've kind of told the story, my mom went on a trip to see her brother in California for about a week long, and I was in first grade. And No, I was in kindergarten. And she came home, and I was devastated. First time I'd ever been out with my mom, been away from my mom for a week. I was a little kid, just not knowing what to do. So she brought home a Live in Atlanta Cathedrals album. And from the second, they started with "You Can Walk on the Water," and that's Kirk lead. And man, he is
You
just
cried to the Lord with a
man.
shout. That
Yeah.
was so cool.
yeah,
Man.
right out of the gate.
They were so ahead of their time.
So I know, and it really just caught me at that moment, and I became a huge Kirk Talley fan. And I would have been 5 years old. They came to Albertville, Alabama, and with Kirk, and it was right at the end of Kirk being there, and I was enamored with Kirk. And anyway, when he left the Cathedrals, I said, "Well, that's the end of the Cathedrals." I told my dad, I said, Why would anybody bother to go see them? Kirk's
They
not
did
there
okay
anymore.
after that.
They did okay. But then it started the Tallies.
Yeah.
And when I heard the Tallies music, it was so far ahead of their time.
Yeah.
They were pretty progressive looking back. Of course, the gospel music landscape was very different back
It was.
then than it is now. Most groups back then were still just singing their concerts with just piano and bass.
Or
And-
if they had a band,
Yeah.
they go through the
If
70s.
that
and,
much.
Gold City had the band,
Mhm.
Henson's, but like Cathedrals was just
Yeah.
piano
There weren't a
and
ton
bass.
of groups using tracks for
Nope.
their entire concert. They
And
might
they were
pop one in
using-
here and there.
They were
But the
using
Tallies
cassette
did-
tracks.
Yeah.
The
The
Tallies.
Tallies started out with that too.
I remember. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They were using cassette tracks, and
Yeah.
I remember going to see them, and Roger up there doing all that. They would stop and just do some piano
Mhm.
and bass. Kirk would play, and
Kirk
It
and
was
the
just
Talley
incredible.
sound man had this elaborate system of hand signals. And back then, because the tracks were on cassette, you would have to have the cassette queued up
Oh,
to the
yeah.
exact place you wanted it to
Yes.
start. And it was delicate.
and if it wasn't, you had that.
Yes. So
When's it gonna
Kirk and the
start?
Talley sound man, Kirk would give a very subtle little hand signal, depending on what the song was. Each song had its own unique hand signal, and that's how they would call the program on the fly, and the sound man would know what track to play next. And my dad had seen the Spear family do this thing where they would do the first verse of a song with just the piano, and then magically at the chorus the track would come in.
So
and
they
so
needed to do that.
he got Ben Spear to teach him how to do that at the studio, how to edit your tracks to where you wanted them to come in.
Wow.
And yeah, they really were
yeah.
kind of pioneers in a sense.
And it was great because I remember going to see them a lot, quite a bit, and I was just enamored with the Tallies. It just had the greatest sound.
Yeah.
Well, you are not that much older than I am, so we
Right.
probably saw each other at concerts.
Probably did
years
and
ago.
didn't even realize
We
it.
might have even played together out
Who
in the
knows?
lobby. Who
Well,
knows?
who knows?
Because I was a little kid myself when the Tallies started. I was when
1
the
year old
Tallies
when they
put the
started.
group together.
Yeah.
And I traveled with them from the very beginning. Mom and Dad did not want to leave me at home with somebody
Yeah.
else. And I'm grateful that they chose to take me with them, because some of my greatest memories were spent on the road with them.
Yeah.
But I have to say this for my parents. They always made time for me, even though they were busy. They would find things for me to do on the bus. That's how I learned to read, by them writing words down and teaching me the phonics there
Yeah.
on the road, because there wasn't much else to do on the bus back then. You didn't have satellite TV. Of course, you didn't have
No.
internet or anything like that.
Right.
And so they were just trying to come up with ways to keep me entertained. But we read books, and we would read road signs, and my mom would take me through parking lots on the road, and she'd say, "Lauren, go find me a 2." If there was no cars in the parking lot, then I'd run and I'd find a 2 on a license plate somewhere, and that's how I learned to read letters and numbers and all
So
that.
basically,
Wow.
she would say, "Lauren, go play in the
Go play in the
parking
street.
lot in the street."
No. But you just do what is there in front of you to do. But my parents always made me a priority. They were never too busy for me, and
Yeah.
I appreciate that very, very much.
How old were you the first time you walked up there and sang with them?
2.
2 years old.
And it was
Didn't
kind of
take long.
it was kind of an accident. One night in Alabama, I got away from the babysitter. I'm sure that's
See, that was in Alabama.
shocking
I could have been
to your
there.
audience. You might have been there. You would have followed me up on the stage, though.
No, not at that time.
I
wouldn't have.
got away from the babysitter one night, and I ran down the center aisle of the church, and I toddled up on the stage, and they were right in the middle of a song, and I pretty much interrupted the song, and Kirk looked down at me and said, "Well, what do you want?" And I said, "I want a thing." And the babysitter is like 2 steps behind me, and she's panicking,
Scared to death. She's fired.
Yeah, and so what blows my mind is they actually let me sing.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
what are you going to do? Little kid runs up there and says they want to sing.
yeah, but toddlers will say anything, and
Well.
you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
But they let me, and
Kirk Talley will also say anything.
there's that. There's that. But I think I sang Amazing Grace or something like that, and my dad, being the way he is, he didn't even think about it. He put in a half-step key change into the song because
Why wouldn't you?
that's just
You were a Talley. Why couldn't you do it?
must have worked out okay.
And you went right with him.
It must have gone okay.
He already
Because
knew.
I started singing one song every night on their program.
Yeah.
And I would quote a scripture, and then I'd go back to the babysitter, and we did that until I was 10.
10 years old.
And then
Wow.
Mom and Dad made the decision to come off the road for a while. And I didn't really understand much about that at the time, but God had been dealing with their hearts for several years, that they needed to make a change in their lives and in how they raised our family. And so we spent the next 3 years at home. Kirk continued on as a soloist, did very well.
Oh, yeah.
But my dad sold real estate for a while. My mom sang in the church choir, and we just did normal family stuff.
Yeah.
And it was during that time between ages 10 to 12 that I really feel like the Lord used that time to show me that he had a unique calling for my life. And I will never forget it. I came to know the Lord at a really young age. I was 8. But it was when I was 12, one night, I was at the Steve Hurst School of Music as a student. And
Was this your first year?
second year? I
Second
was
year.
12.
So you had advanced past Danny Riley being your vocal coach.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, it was that one night when I was 12, the Pfeiffers were doing a concert that night, and they sang this song called Ready to Serve. And I'm telling you, I felt the Lord speak to my heart and say, Lauren, are you ready to serve me?
Wow.
I was 12. I didn't
Yeah.
have a clue what that meant, but I knew I was supposed to say yes. And as best a 12-year-old can, I said, "Well, yeah, Lord,
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll serve you." And I was scared to death because I didn't know what he was going to have me do. Nobody ever does. I was scared to death he was going to send me to some far-flung corner of the globe where they didn't have TV or, Chick-fil-A. I was worried.
Yeah.
But I remember asking my mom, "Mama, what am I supposed to do now?" And she said, "All you have to do is be a 12-year-old girl and let God use you and use your talent for him,
Yeah.
and he'll take care of all that other stuff."
And you didn't have to say, well, what's my talent, Mom?
I kind of had a little idea of what it might be, but I just like to sing, and
and the year
that's
before.
all I did. I sang all the time around the house. I was that kid who turned the stereo up wide
Yes,
open in her bedroom and sang stuff that was way too hard for me, but I tried everything.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
And you had a year from your first vocal lesson with Danny. So you were ready.
My first vocal lesson ever
That's
was
hilarious.
with Danny Riley. I was 11 years old, and
Wow.
he was pretty young himself. He was 21,
Yeah,
22
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
And it was at the Steve Hurst School.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember what I sang for him. I don't remember, but
Do you remember what he helped you with?
I think he showed me a couple of little runs I could do in
Really?
the song. Yeah.
So he was very technical. Let me see what I can help you with.
It was more of a style choice than
Yes.
it was technical. But
I could see
but now
that.
Danny knows his stuff. You can't
does.
sing as well as he does
He
for
does.
as long as he has
Yeah.
and not know your stuff.
He's in a complaining. He's been complaining for a while because Everybody got messed up. You probably didn't during COVID.
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah, I think I don't. Did you? Did it really? It didn't affect you. That's that Indian
Not
blood
really,
coming through
yeah.
that got you
For
through
a
it.
year, for at least a solid year after I had the worst bout of COVID in 2021, I couldn't breathe. I
Yeah.
lost a significant amount of lung capacity. And so I was gasping in between words. And it was messed up for a while. And I went to my voice teacher. I said, I don't know what's happened to me, but we have to fix this because I can't do this like this. He said, pardon me for asking, but do you go to the gym? I said,
boy.
Stephen, do I look like I go to the gym? I said, I am built for comfort, not speed. So he said, well, I hate to tell you this, but you're going to have to get up
So you had to
off the couch and go hit the gym. So
you had to
I
physically build lung
I
capacity
had to
again.
build lung capacity back, and it was so hard. And I'd still struggle with it sometimes.
Yeah, there was a lot of physical thing. It wiped me out. It totally wiped me out. It's a mess. And to this day, I still have a rasp mess that I have to get past every night.
And I have very bad allergies, seasonal allergies. And so I've had to go on allergy shots. And I didn't realize that it was going to require as much maintenance as
Yeah.
it does the older you get.
Yeah, that's what he's
Chris,
doing.
just get ready because
I
when
know.
you turn 40,
But
your check
he
engine
is-
light's going to come on.
He is Native American.
Oh,
So
he's fine,
they
then.
have I don't know what it is.
You're gonna be fine.
Indians
It
don't die; we just fade
really-
away.
What'd you say?
Indians never die; we just fade away.
Yes. Yeah. That's
He
it.
said that, folks,
That's
not
awesome.
me.
But anyway, Danny's dealing with that now. But he does still do an incredible job with what he does. So I'm sure whatever it was, whatever runs he gave you, it probably paid off mightily. I'm sure you don't even realize it.
I'm still here and I still have a career. So
Thanks to Danny Riley.
Thanks to Danny Riley. I owe it all to him.
We're let me go back just a second. Now we're going into when the Tallies reformed, but your mom, even before the Tallies, they had a history in gospel music, your mom and dad.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I remember there's a record I have at home of your mom singing with a group called the Songmasters
Yes.
out of Arkansas. Was that Arkansas?
Out of Milan, Tennessee.
Tennessee, okay.
Which is as close to Arkansas as you can get without actually being in Arkansas.
Okay.
Milan, Tennessee is a tiny little town out in West Tennessee in the river bottoms, the flatlands, And one of her greatest inspirations is a lady named Marcy Kelsey. Now she's Marcy Kelsey Beckett. But Marcy Kelsey and her husband, Brother Joel Kelsey, owned that group, the Songmasters. And you want to talk about an amazing singer and piano player. Marcy has a voice as big as that mountain I'm looking at, and she's in her 90s now, and she can still sing. If this tells you anything, she is Dale Shipley's mother.
Okay.
And she is
For real?
Yes.
Okay.
Her
wow.
voice
Okay.
sounds like the female version of Dale Shipley.
Holy
Wow.
smoke.
Yeah. It's
That's
really
neat.
something. I think
Yeah.
there's some stuff on YouTube of them.
Yeah, I
And
need-
Dale
we
was
can
in
look
that group
up.
with your mom,
Yeah.
the Songmasters.
Yeah.
And
And Melissa Brady's
Yeah.
dad, Jack Schuler, was also in that group for a
That's
while.
right.
We have
Forget
a
about that.
previous episode with
yeah.
she tells us about that same story and how much Debbie was an influence in her life.
Oh, we've always loved Melissa.
Yeah, yeah, that's very neat.
Then was it? I guess, and then they joined the Hoppers, or sometime after that, after your mom and dad got married.
Well, my dad joined the Hoppers in 1974, I think. He graduated from the University of Tennessee in 1973.
Bless his heart.
I know. He'd kill me if he knew I told that on a podcast.
I don't know. I mean, I'm talking about University of Tennessee. I'm sorry.
That's just the favor of God, my friend. That's just God being faithful in your life.
I don't think God ever likes orange, but okay.
Well, if you looked at our record the last few years, you could make an argument for that. But he worked for FHA for a little while after he graduated college. And then Claude Hopper called him. Somebody else had recommended my dad for the piano player job with the Hoppers. And so Daddy thought, well, that'd be fun to do for a while. I can always come back to this job working for the Farm and Home Administration
Yeah.
if that doesn't work out. So he went and joined the Hoppers, and he was their piano player for 10 years
Wow.
while while he was with the Hoppers, he met my mom. She was singing with the Songmasters at the time, and they met at Ed O'Neill's house in Kinston, North Carolina. There had been a big singing in the area, and after the concert, Ed invited all the groups over to his house, and that's how they met. Okay. And they got married in 1978, and then I came along about 4.5 years later in 1982.
So when did she join the Hoppers?
Well, it's kind of funny. In about 1980, the Hoppers needed a fill-in soprano. Okay. And Claude asked her, "Can you just come and fill in until the end of the year?" And she always jokes that Claude forgot to tell her what year because she was there for the next 2 years.
That's funny. She's got one of the classiest voices I've ever heard in my life.
I appreciate that.
Unbelievable singer.
Yeah.
And I've always thought your dad was one of the absolute most tasteful piano players I have ever heard.
Absolutely.
He's still got it, too.
I don't doubt that for a second.
He's about to have a really big birthday.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell what it is, but he's still just as gifted, just as sharp. He hasn't lost a bit.
And he's still producing.
He's still busy.
Yeah.
He has produced about 5 or 6 albums for major artists over the past year.
Yeah.
And one of them is a nominee now for Album of the Year, and he's still busy. He can't stand to sit still and do nothing. He always has to have something to do.
Must be in that Talley blood.
It is.
Yeah.
Because they all grew up on a farm. You know, you don't take days off.
Right. If Kirk ain't working 6 jobs, he's not working any. You know,
they can't stand
all
to
the time
sit
going.
still. They always have to be busy.
And then Uncle Kirk.
What do you say about him? I mean, he is. They broke the mold when they made him.
There's no doubt.
There's not another one like him.
He's probably the most charismatic person that's ever been on gospel music stage.
If not the most, definitely one of them.
Yeah. I've never seen anyone that could just hold an audience.
He's always had the gift for that, from what I understand.
Anything he wanted to do, but he was a master of holding the audience. There's so many MCs that I know that would go, aspiring MCs that would just go in and literally take notes on what Kirk was doing.
Yeah. And he's always been able to do that from what I've been told. He joined the Hoppers in high school.
Yeah.
Connie was sick, and they needed somebody to come sing her part for a little while. And my dad said, "Well, my little brother can sing." You know, they grew up singing.
Yeah.
And so they said, "Yeah, tell him." And it was summertime, so he was out of school. They said, "Yeah, tell him to come on." And
what grade was he in?
Was
he a junior?
He was a junior.
Okay.
He was 16, I think.
Okay.
And Claude bought him a white suit. And they trotted him out on stage, and he sang, I think he did Hallelujah Square. That was his big feature or whatever.
And it was over, wasn't it?
And they said he did that kind of stuff even back then. He's just always had a natural instinct for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, he probably he could just I've never seen anyone that could just hold the audience.
No.
He's the first person I ever saw. I went to see him in the cathedrals when I was teenage years, and he owned it. So
I have learned a lot from my family, all members of my family.
At the end of his set, he goes over and plays "He Is Here" at the piano and sings it, gets the crowd singing it, and it's the first time I've ever seen anyone, the crowd singing. He just walked off the stage. That was it.
Yeah.
I must confess, I
brilliant.
Have stolen, I guess you would say. Borrowed is nicer. I have borrowed that.
I've seen others
many
do
a
it.
time.
I've seen others do it, and it's not as effective. You're like, what's going on? But it was just the perfect thing.
Yeah.
And he could just create the atmosphere. It was crazy.
And you got to think too, back before Kirk, before he started the solo portion of his career, there was not really any soloist in Southern gospel that would draw. Like,
no,
promoters wasn't booking soloists.
I mean, even Squire had a group.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I mean Squire. He had a group. He had other people with him. To me, and it was about the same time, I guess, when Ivan and Kirk both kind of launched their solo. Those were the only two soloists that I remember during that time that could really hold or draw a
Yeah.
crowd and hold an audience.
Southern gospel has always been a group-oriented world.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, and I understand this, a lot of people feel like groups are more interesting because there's more people to look at. There's more diversity. You don't have to hear the same person sing the entire time. There's more options there. So a soloist has to work harder
Oh yeah.
Yes.
to find ways to keep the audience's attention. We have to vary the program up. If a soloist just stands there and sings one song after another with a track,
It's getting old.
it's
quick.
boring.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So we do have to get really creative, and we have to work very hard.
Yeah.
And since I've become a soloist, I've learned that it is a completely different animal than singing with a group. So when I became a soloist, I thought, okay, I've got to get really creative and find some things that will work for me to keep people's attention night after night.
Yeah.
And come up with different elements to my concert to keep it from getting dull. And I have gone back to many things that I saw Kirk do years ago.
Well, that's been
and
very
try
smart.
to not copy him, because no one can.
Right.
That's not possible or smart. God created you to do what he gave you to do, not be somebody else. But I've seen him do things that I thought, okay, we could make that work by changing it this way and maybe trying this. And I've gotten a lot of good ideas.
You ever bounce
from
ideas?
lots of people.
Do you talk to him about these things at all, or is it just?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
He's very quick to give his opinion.
That's
as
what
you know.
I was trying to set that up the right way.
He does not mind telling you, hey, set this song up this way, or don't say that, say this, or whatever.
Well, you are his little niece. I mean, so that's
I'm the closest thing to a daughter that he has.
He's gonna
I
stay
don't
on
mind
you.
at all, because
Yeah.
I hate to say this, and I hope he doesn't hear it, but he's right.
Yeah.
And so even though I'm like, I'll call you when I want advice.
I didn't ask you.
I didn't ask you. You know what, though? Deep down, I love it, though, because he's not going to bother giving you his opinion if he doesn't believe in you and want to invest
exactly
in you.
it, too.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, he really helped us after Josh came on board. Kirk came to hear us a couple of different times, and literally took notes.
There was a reason he came to hear us.
Well, I know, but
I mean, I was asking him to come hear us and take notes, and that way, he didn't just. We weren't his little niece,
right?
But he cared enough to come help. So it was just little simple staging things that he could bring out.
It helps so much to have an objective point of view, look at you and say, okay, because we cannot see ourselves on stage. Right. We don't know how certain things look until somebody tells us, or we see a video. And that's always a really fun experience to watch yourself on video.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there's certain things that you're not aware of that you do as a performer. You don't realize you make certain faces, or that you do weird things with your hands, or you don't realize those things.
It really clicked with you, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
When he came, there were things.
You're singing his song, aren't you?
Right.
Yeah.
And we were staging it during that time, and he pulled, he came during our sound check one day, and he's like, hey, let me, I don't know if I should say this or not. He said, I really didn't prefer the way that Gold City did it.
Yeah.
Back in the beginning.
Well, every writer has the perfect version of the song, of their song in their mind. And then when the cut maybe isn't quite like that, you're like, I don't know. Yeah. But trust me, he was happy that y'all cut it.
Oh yeah, but he said here are some things that that I think could be better. That you could really connect with the crowd and do some just little, like you said, little things that you wouldn't ever think of that really have made a difference.
Made a big difference.
I want to get back to the Tallies. When did y'all? Whose decision was it to start the Talley Trio?
Honestly, no one's. We didn't have any intentions of starting another group. I was getting interested in singing.
Were you still homeschooled, or were you going to public
school? I went to public school up until I was a sophomore in high school.
Really?
And that change was only necessitated by what we were starting to do.
So how did you do that as a little kid?
I missed school every Friday.
Okay.
And my teachers
excused it.
sent the work with me,
Yeah.
and I would turn it back in on
Good.
Monday.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I was 12 or 13, a gentleman in our hometown, a bank president, asked us if we would come sing for the Christmas banquet for the bank at the country club. We didn't know. I was 12. Mom and Dad and I had never sung together. We didn't know an hour's worth
Are
of
you
material.
serious? Y'all had never sang together?
No. Hadn't
Really?
occurred to us.
So they had just kind of turned it off?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was interested in singing, and they wanted to give me an outlet. So really the only reason they started back singing was for me.
That's
And-
amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we threw together some Christmas songs. Daddy asked me if I could learn Kirk's part to some of their old Christmas songs.
You should
I was
already
like,
know them. You're like, I already got it.
I
What
knew
are you
some
talking
of them. I know all
about?
the hard parts.
You probably knew your mama's part.
I did.
Yeah.
But
And
we
he felt better about telling you to learn them than ask Debbie to change it.
but we sang for the Christmas banquet, and we were like, oh, okay, that was fun. And then our church asked us to sing sometime, and then somebody else asked us, and it
just organically grew.
just kind of snowballed. And so Daddy, being the way he is, was like, well, now if we're going to go out singing, we got to have something to sell.
There you go.
So we went in the studio and put together a
How's
little.
that Claude Hopper education coming out?
100%. So we went in the studio together and put a little table project together, and it just kind of grew from there. And looking back, the Lord used that time in my life and in our lives to train me, teach me, grow me, not just as a singer and an artist, but as a person. It had many, many purposes, I know, that we probably won't ever know the details of until we get to heaven. But I cherish those years that I spent on the road with my family. And people ask all the time, do you miss your family now that you're a soloist? Well, of course I do.
Yeah.
I loved hanging out with them, and I loved that time that we spent together. But God moved us on another path about 5 years ago, and Mom and Dad retired. And now
How many
they're
years were y'all together as the Talley Trio?
25.
25
Wow.
years.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you're still in your early 30s.
Yeah.
Crazy,
Yeah,
isn't
we'll
it?
go with that.
Name some of the hits y'all had. Searching, I know, was one of your early
Searching
ones.
was the
Searching.
first number one.
Searching was number one?
yeah, it was the
Awesome.
very
Yeah.
first
I
one.
love that song. See, my mom and dad did that song.
You
with
sang
the-
that with us one
yeah,
time.
it's because I knew it well. My mom and dad did that song with the Grace Quartet. And I thought it was,
Really?
the Goss Brothers produced, Larry
Yeah.
produced
Yeah.
it, and the Goss Brothers did it. And I loved it when they did it. So when y'all brought it back, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, we sang at Josh's church.
Y'all sang there a couple of two or
back
three
in
times.
his music director days.
Yeah.
And
We had a great
Jason
time.
Crabb had recorded it with
Yeah.
us, but he wasn't there that night, obviously. So we were like, okay, we got somebody here that we know can put it out there. So
was
Josh sang
fun.
it with us
Yeah.
that night.
Yeah.
It was fun. I still have people mention His Life for Mine and the
Oh, yeah.
Broken Ones
Yes.
and
The
the
Healer.
healer and I Love the Lord and
Answer is
the answer is Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
You're
So many
probably
great
able to think of
songs.
a few that I've forgotten.
I was
but-
a huge Talley Trio fan back in,
Yeah.
when y'all were cranking out the hits. And I remember singing Answer is Christ, in church or whatever,
yeah, and you
just-
probably sang my part on it.
I'm
Probably.
sure he did, yeah.
Your answer is Jesus.
You sang it solo, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you would have sang, yeah.
But yeah, and man, y'all had so many great songs. But so Mom and Dad retired, came off the road.
Yeah.
And
The pandemic kind of helped that along. We had originally planned that we were going to go through 2020, and Mom and Dad did not want a farewell tour, so to speak. They're not like that. They didn't want a lot of fuss.
yeah,
But we had decided we were going to go through 2020, and then at the end of 2020, they were going to be done. And then COVID hit, and a lot of dates canceled. Of course, everything shut down.
Yeah.
So their retirement kind of gradually started a little earlier than they had planned on. And so when things started to open back up, we talked about it, and I said, do you guys want to go around again and kind of do it like we had talked about? And they said, no, I think we're good.
Not really.
They absolutely love being at home. My mom has always been a homebody. She always said she loved people and she loved singing, but she did not like traveling.
Yeah.
She doesn't travel much now. I mean,
Lord, that's a lot of miles.
It is.
She's already traveled. So.
Yeah, our odometers have rolled over several times by now. My dad will occasionally go out with me now and help me with sound or whatever I need. But he doesn't go all the time now. He realized he liked staying at home.
Yeah.
And he really likes not having to deal with a bus every week.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right. Sure.
But yeah, they're very happy being at home, and they are some of my greatest support
Of course.
system, and they also like to give their opinions like Kirk does. So I got it coming from all sides.
You were being prepared to do the solo thing you were doing a lot of the MC work.
I did
the Talley
toward
Trio.
the last few years of the Tallies. I realized, well, see, we kind of knew what was going to be ahead for us.
Yeah.
I had a pretty clear idea that I was going to be a soloist well before I actually became one. And so my mom and dad, neither one of them really liked to talk on stage. They didn't like to do the MC stuff. They just didn't feel like that's what they were naturally good at, although I thought they did very well.
Yeah.
And one night my dad forgot to introduce the group. We just skated right past that portion of the program where he normally did it. And so about 5 songs in, it was my turn to come up and introduce the song. And I thought, well, we haven't done this yet. So I just stepped up and did it. And after that night, Daddy said, why don't you just start doing that all the time?
Yeah, that's all he
I
needed
said,
to
well,
hear.
okay. And I wanted to.
You probably could have got everybody's name drawn. He'd still say, why don't you just do that?
Well, I knew that speaking on stage and learning to manage a program and learning to read an audience and learn how to make a program flow and what felt right and call songs on the fly, I knew all of that was a skill that I needed to develop in order to make a solo career work.
Yeah.
So I figured that was as good a training ground as there was.
So what was your first year all solo?
2021.
2021. So straight out of the pandemic.
And
you're right
I
back.
was scared to death. I knew I could sing a program. Knew I could do that. I knew I could talk. I knew I could make the concerts work. What I was scared to death of, because everybody was scared back then, we didn't know what our business was going to be like.
No.
And we didn't have a clue what the future was going to be. And I was afraid I was falling off into nothing. And, you have all the voices in your head going, oh, nobody's going to book me. Nobody's going to like me without mom and dad. I'm just going to fade away into the background. And I had no idea what to expect. But the Lord was so kind and so gracious, and people were very kind to me. I got so much support from the very, very beginning, and people that followed the Tallies for years stuck with me and supported me and came to concerts and they booked me. And I really have been very, very blessed, and I'm very, very grateful for how the first 5 years have turned out.
Yeah, and it's still going strong.
People ask me all the time, how many dates are you doing? And I'm right now I'm doing about 80 dates a year. And that's not nearly as many as you guys do or a lot of groups, but
yeah, we're trying to get to that.
See, that's the thing. Years ago, it was like, how many dates can we possibly do?
Yeah.
And now so many groups are trying to bring the number of dates that they're doing down, and it's kind of like, how many dates can we What
can we get away with?
How few dates can we do and still pay the bills?
That's exactly what it is.
And for no other reason than traveling is just really, really hard. I don't have a bus, don't want one.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to keep my overhead down. I'm trying to keep my expenses down. My organization is very, very small.
Yeah.
And so I don't travel as much as other people, but it's because I can't the way that I travel. When you do everything by yourself, you have to really manage your time and manage your energy and and try to be smart about things. So that's what I'm trying to do anyway.
Well, that's great. So, are you, what 75, 80 dates? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, that's about right.
That sounds amazing.
Speaking of that, we're going to be with you this year,
I
Gold City,
know.
our Rise Up 2026 tour, and we're having several special guests. We're doing Scotty Emin on a few days.
I knew about Scotty. I didn't know we were doing one with Lauren.
Yes,
That's news to me. Did you
2
know about it?
dates.
I did.
Wow.
I've got the contracts
I'm
in
getting
my
ready to
in
tell
my
you about
email.
them
Yeah.
right now.
All right.
August 1st will be the first one.
Yeah.
That's going to be in Monticello, Arkansas.
Oh, that's a great
At
spot.
First Baptist
Yeah, that's a
Church.
great church.
We
you
were
been
there
there?
on-
You ever been there?
I wish you wouldn't ask me
don't
questions
know.
like that.
don't know.
It's possible that I have.
It's a
but
neat church.
It's
I've
a
been
very- it's
around for a long time, and after a while, they all start running together.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, me too. But when you go there, if you've been there, you're oh yeah,
Okay.
it's just a beautiful older First Baptist church. It's all modern.
I
but
would
they
say
kept
I
the-
probably have been there.
they kept it, and it's just
Yeah.
I love the.
We did our
the
Christmas
auditorium.
tour,
It was
Christmas
beautiful,
date
yeah.
there with the Irwins.
Yep.
So we'll be returning there on August 1st with Lauren Talley at 2 p.m. It's an early start that day.
We're going to do Gladys Knight and the Pips that night.
Listen,
Well, wait a minute. Are you which one? You?
I'm going to be Gladys. Y'all,
Okay, I didn't know
y'all
if
do
it was
what
gonna
you
be-
want.
I didn't know if it was going to be you or Chris. If you were
No.
Gladys or a Pip,
no, we'll
because he
back,
can do Gladys too.
Oh, I believe that.
Oh, yeah.
we'll back Lauren up on Midnight Train to Georgia. Then on August the 17th, we're going to be in Simpsonville, Kentucky.
Yes.
And that's going to be at Simpsonville Baptist Church at 5 o'clock p.m. Central Time. So we're looking forward to being with you
It's going to be fun.
on those two
It's gonna
shows.
be
Will be fun.
Yeah.
I haven't had the chance to work with Gold City very often since I've been a soloist, and I don't think the Tallies did too many times before that, just here and there every so often. And I've always loved Gold City, and I'm not just saying this because I'm sitting here with you guys. This is the absolute truth. I think the vocal lineup for Gold City now is one of the strongest lineups the group has ever had in its history.
That's kind.
Thank you.
It really is kind.
I
isn't
mean,
it?
that's what we tell everybody, but nobody listens.
That is what you told me to say, right?
You got it right. Yeah, you got it right. Waffle House on me.
You know what's great is that you guys are strong, not just good, but you guys are really, really strong at every single position. There's not a weak voice in the blend. There's not anybody that can't step out and take over at any time. Most groups will have one really, really dynamic singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that noise is, but
No,
hey,
it keeps coming
get
by.
them
don't it?
get them kids back there. but you guys are so dynamic at every role, and so that's
Thank
lots
you.
of fun.
Thank you for saying that.
Do you have a favorite
We're
Gold
gonna
City
have fun.
song?
Oh man,
Put you on the spot.
yeah, I
No
always
other word for
liked.
grace.
No, I always liked. How Deep Is the Water? I
Yeah.
like Shouting Ground.
Yep.
Um,
Sandy Night songs.
yeah.
Yes.
She
We just
always
did
had
a-
good fast songs.
We just did a matinee in Taylor, South Carolina of Sandy Night songs with Sandy.
Oh, that's cool.
It was awesome. You need to go
I
look some of
really
it up.
loved the What a Great Lifestyle record
That was
Yeah.
great.
many years ago.
Yeah.
That had God's Building a Church.
Yeah.
Sandy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I always liked Alone, alone in the garden,
old hymn
he
book song.
prayed alone.
Yeah,
You
it's a
you
great
guys have had so many good
Well,
songs over the years.
Gold City has an incredible catalog. It's really neat for us because we can just go back and pull whatever we want to pull. So it's Gold City songs.
Mhm.
So it's the songs we grew up on,
Yeah.
but now we can actually sing them authentically because it's still Gold City, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a luxury. You know, kind of like you could do with the Tallies.
Yeah.
Same
People
type
ask me
thing.
every once in a while if I sing. Yeah, you did, Chris.
Yeah.
You did today. I do still go back and pull out some of the Tally songs
Oh,
from
you
time to
should.
time. I
Yeah.
can't do them all because some of the arrangements require a group.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a little harder for a soloist. But the ones that I was featured on, like His Life for Mine and the Broken Ones and He's
Yeah.
Alive, stuff like that. Yeah, I still have those in regular rotation.
Hallelujah, praise the Lord.
Now,
Sing that every
Oh,
once in a
gosh,
while.
that's
yeah.
One of the
great one.
greatest
If I'm-
songs
If
I
I'm
have ever
feeling
heard
real
in my
froggy,
life.
I might do that one.
It's you need to get that ready for
That
the-
one's not for the weak.
no, but
Mm-mm.
it's one of the most descriptive, incredible,
It's beautiful.
incredibly written songs I've ever heard in my life.
It is.
now here's just an idea. What if
What if?
Lauren Talley featuring Gold City
Hey,
recuts for every generation.
Don't
What do you
say
think?
it if you don't mean it.
You know, the Tallies did that. Was it the cathedrals?
Yes.
That were featured on that
I would
Tallies cut?
absolutely be down for that.
yeah,
I'm
let's
just
say
Okay.
it. There, it's done.
Okay, it's documented,
Tell
y'all.
Roger to
It's
get it
out
ready.
there.
Just saying.
It's out there. That would be so cool.
That would be great.
You know,
what
the
Now you have
Tallies-
to do the for every generation.
That's the only reason he's
Oh, yeah, we'll do
mentioned
that. I know.
because he's got that in his head. Lauren, this has been awesome. Thank you for
thank
joining
you guys
us.
for having me on. I'm actually going to start listening to this from now on.
Well, you'll listen to
Good.
this one
Yeah.
at least,
Yeah, I'll listen
and
to
you
this
won't be
one.
consistent anymore.
Well, we're on the uptick now.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Thanks. Bye, friends.